Theresa, you went from sales to founding Zurn Visual. What was the moment you realized this is bigger than business? This is my mission.
The moment I saw that design could shift culture, not just sales, I knew this was bigger than me. It was more of a mission. And then somewhere between pitching products and pitching purpose, I realized, no, this isn't a job anymore. It's a calling. And I'm sure that Carmen and Max would say, oh my God, yes, it's a calling for her. She doesn't stop talking about it.
Max, what's the vision behind engineering cardboard into works of art and sustainable design?
I do have an engineering background, so I was just wondering whether or not that can be applied to cardboard, and turns out it can be. And with that, we started to explore what's possible with it. And then as we've noticed that there's actually there's a plethora of possibilities, sometimes even more so than with wood, then it turned into this whole idea of turning the world into a more beautiful and greener place by using sustainable materials in order to build things which would be so much harder and so much more expensive if they were built in wood. And then of course trade shows were a good place to start, because where but not at a trade show can you just realize a project quickly and then see if it actually works and how people react to it.
And I'll extend this question to you, Carmen. Was there a moment when you and Max looked at each other and thought, yes, this is it, this is our path?
When the pandemic hit, we had to decide what path we wanted to take to move forward. And we liked the one that we were on, and we had an opportunity to take over a production space. And so we took it. We took the risk and we jumped in and we said, hey, if we can continue to make this world a better place for the future moving forward, then why not?
So how do you balance the creative chaos with the love and, let's be real, bills and deadlines?
It's like all wonderful things in life. It's like sugar. A little bit of sugar is good. Too much sugar can lead to a lot of heart attacks. And it's the same with with doing things as a couple, right? You just always got to find a balance in terms of the good stuff and the bad stuff. So the goal always must be to keep things separated as much as possible. But then again, that's not always doable, because there's deadlines, as you already mentioned, and there's bills to pay, and there's lots of things going on. We travel a lot, so yeah. If you ever find anybody who knows how to figure out these things, I'd like to know the real answer.
And Carmen, for you?
We are still in a process of learning how to balance. Sometimes we find the magic spots and sometimes we don't, and we struggle through it. But I think because those moments of magic when things are working well are so sweet that it kind of covers up all the struggles that comes with it as a couple. And then learning to see where our strengths and weaknesses are and try to fill the holes and the gaps in between. So
the stereotype is that sustainability, it's boring, it's costly. How do you make sustainability irresistible to clients who just want results?
In sales, I was always focused on hitting numbers, but I never felt truly aligned with the impact. And because I had been in plastics for so long, I met these wonderful people who had other creative products that we'd never seen. And I really wanted to bring that to the forefront. When I pivoted from my corporate life to this one, I started realizing how brands could actually show up in a way that wasn't just visually powerful, but also responsible. And choices that told a story about who they are and what they value. And that sounds kind of cliche, but honestly, I'm a firm believer in sometimes going back to your roots. And when you believe in something as passionately as bringing these types of products into the market space, first of all, you have to have the belief in yourself and the belief that you could actually impact or change a traditional way of doing things. And that's just, for me, when it clicked. So it wasn't about designing or creating in my mind anymore. It was just helping shift the way we think about it and proving that you can be successful and sustainable all at once. And even though sustainable is like a trigger word now, like what exactly does that mean? Because there's lots of facets that go into it to make sure that it follows the chain all the way from when it begins to the end. I just think I saw the bigger picture and I just couldn't go back. And then that's when it just stopped being a business idea. And for me to align and meet Max and Carmen both has been a game changer.
So where do you draw the line between practicality and imagination? Do you find yourself grounding the process, or are you the one encouraging Max to take those big leaps even further?
That's a really good question. I play both of those roles at different times. So depending on the project, depending on the situation, I'm either there to help ground or I'm there to help push the envelope. We switch roles every now and then because Max will tell me reality and then I'll be like, no, and vice versa. So because our roles are different, Max is more on the designing side, whereas I'm more on the production side, then I tend to see the schedule according to how quickly something can be produced, because I have a much more in-depth look into production, the costs, and what's required to create what he's already designed. So that's where I kind of fit into the picture, I'm kind of bringing both Theresa, the creative, crazy side, and then Max, the engineering, our like architectural side all together, and making sure that at the end of the day we have a product to present to our clients.
Carmen is the sage of this trifecta, as you call us, Nadia. She's the sage. She brings the sense of calm and relatability in as much as she'll say, okay, that's a fantastic idea, let's pass it by. Max, who always says, oh, I don't know, yeah, but at the end of the day, Max always comes back and says, yes, that could work, and it'll just take time, and sometimes time isn't always on our side, so we have to be realistic. And so she's kind of the sage, if for lack of a better term. It's a beautiful thing, to have her be there and kind of hold up both of us together.
And Max, I'm sure working with these powerhouse women is added a lot of dynamicism to your work ethic.
Well, here's the thing. I'm a simple man in terms of making things. Anything that is engineered from a structural perspective. There was a guy back in the day who once said to me, there's no magic in engineering because everything needs to be zero at the end, which of course refers to the equations for momentums, but it's actually true. So when I look at things, I look at them from the perspective of what's the best way of actually doing it, what can we do, what can we not do. Now, if you have people around you like Carmen and Theresa who have ideas and then they cannot formulate these ideas in practical terms, in terms of construction and engineering, then sometimes it can get frustrating trying to communicate what can we do and what is impossible. However, I have to say that more often than not, that back and forward led to a better outcome. Does it frustrate me sometimes? Absolutely. But I'd say bottom line, it's actually quite a well-functioning machine in terms of let's create the best thing.
In business and in personal life, you have to have the trust of each other, and of course the admiration to create that synergy that you have in your personal life, and I do believe it does translate to your professional life, where you get your key stakeholders and the people who want something done, but also to listen, because we have to listen to Max. When he says okay, pump the brakes here, you girls. We have to listen and be very open to each other, but also cheer each other on.
Oh, brilliant. Final question to you all, and I hope that I can get everyone's perspective here, because the world is shifting quickly, right? There's climate change, tech, AI. Where do you all see design going in the next decade?
When people start making designs in AI and they're basically flat drawings. Now, for example, if you think of the MC Escher stairwell, it's that infinite stairwell that goes up and up and up. which in a drawing, of course, works, but in reality, it doesn't. When people start making things in AI, which in the picture look good from a very certain perspective, but if you actually take the time to take apart the geometry and think it through what it would look like in reality, you very quickly realize this has only one perspective where it looks good, but if you would walk around it, the entire structure would be distorted and skewed. So unfortunately, very often people just look at images and they want that kind of stuff, but there are things that even if you had all the budget in the world, you cannot build sometimes, simply because there's certain lines going through it, and they create an image that's impossible to make, and because people, especially clients, very often look at these type of pictures and then expect something like that to be made. It does two things. First of all, it adds time to explain to them, guys, this is actually just an artificial drawing that is made by somebody who put a prompt in the computer. That's not designed, like a machine made it. But secondly, everything you build in reality has to measure up against these more and more realistic looking pictures, and I find that very frustrating. On the positive side, though, I'm still waiting for the moment where artificial intelligence will enhance the process of creating complex geometries. I hope once it happens, they're going to be using the right standards, the right technology. It's open source enough so we can all use it, and it's not just going to be that weirdo little plaything where, parents can buy their children a 3D printer and then they print out something, but in reality you can actually not use it because so it's a very technical process I'm actually thinking about here. So when I realize I keep going on about that. So am I excited about the future with AI? Not really, because I can do it without. But I'm certainly curious if there is an opportunity in the future that would be beneficial for people like us who actually create things in reality and not just in the computer.
I am both excited and apprehensive at the same time. There are many advantages to what AI can do. There are also a lot of safeguards, I think, that needs to be built in order to protect ourselves from ourselves. If you look at the state at which our planet is in, a lot of that is because we did not put those safeguards in. And I think what we get to do right now is provide solutions to move into the future with more hope and positivity, because when we can offer a sustainable solution to something that's been done for many, many years in a way that is not healthy for our planet, for me, that is my contribution in our world. We need to step forward with hope, but also with caution, to really use the wisdom that we have from the lessons we've learned in history to apply into how we move forward with AI. I think seeing all of the progress that's been happening in the last 2 years with AI gives me a lot of hope, because now we've found solutions, or finding solutions much closer in finding cures, finding ways to use energy better, more efficiently, finding better solutions to all of these different problems that we couldn't see answers to before.
I'm thinking about the present in the sense that we do have solutions for traditional booth making, in retail displays and experiential events, all of those things. We do have solutions for them, but whether it be AI or just good old-fashioned ingenuity, that these materials are available, and Max has designed the most amazing things. I would say that it's more about, this is here, so since it's here, let's use it, let's put it out there, let's review it. And I think the only way you can actually review it is to actually see it. That AI, I don't know, does it have a heart? I don't know. Does it have emotion? Can it really see things for which they are? I'm still of that belief that without the human connection, personalization of something, I don't know that you can create. You might be able to, but It doesn't replace the humanity. You know, we look at our phones more than we probably look at people across the dinner table. And I'm really hoping that we can provide these types of solutions or ideas or whatever, conversation, education. This is here today. So, you know, we want to be part of that, and we want it to be impactful, and we're just the people to show you how to do it.
What's one word that defines your design philosophy?
It's messy. The design process is messy, not because you want it to be messy, but because it becomes messy. It's like prepping a meal over and over and restarting within the meal, and then hit the Control Z button in the meantime and just go back one step and then try again. It's a very, it's messy. That's what I want it to be, is inspirational. But I guess it'll never get there, because only results will be inspirational, like that wonderful meal that your mom cooked, which is just wonderful. But you don't want to have a look at the kitchen in the meantime.
I always think the design process is fun, and it needs to be fun. It's hard to have every project be fun, but that is one word I want to keep at the forefront, because if it's not fun anymore, you won't want to do it anymore. So I think that's one of the things I want to hold on to, because a lot of projects that we've built has been fun, and then there's some that has been, you know, you want to pull your hair out. The whole process.
That fun part is part of it, but then it gets back to messy.
Yes, understandable, absolutely. That's part of the genius, right?
It would be limitless, in the sense that we could take ordinary things and make them beautiful. And I want to say that you could reach out and touch it, you know, like you can touch it, and it could transcend you or transport you to another place. And sometimes I think that that's what my philosophy is that taking yourself from here to there.
What's one project you dream of building if money wasn't an issue?
Tell her, Max, tell her.
Sorry. I was
You were transporting somewhere?
No, I was thinking about the question, because there's so many things I can think of.
There is a design concept that Max had dreamt up years ago, and it's called sound. And when I met him, he had made that, and I remember seeing it, and I was like, this is what I want to see future spaces to look like. This is what, when you look at a sci-fi movie and you see this really cool space, I feel like if we got a chance to build something, that's what I would like to see attempted.
The sound concept actually came from a struggle I had with one-dimensional holes in polygonal geometries, and I was working on that, and then came to that solution of that sound concept, which is pretty cool. It would be nice to build it. I'd like to build an expo pavilion.
Ooh.
I always wanted to do that.
Wow.
It's a temporary build, and temporary builds have advantages that you don't have with permanent builds. That's also true for trade shows. But an expo pavilion is just big, and I just love the idea of doing that one day.
Oh, that sounds super cool. How about you, Theresa?
It's something where it would transport me to a place, and it's almost like nostalgic, you know, for myself. I love nostalgic things.
What's one myth about sustainability that you guys wish would just die already?
That everything can be sustainable. The word sustainability is slapped onto everything, and there are things which cannot be sustainable by nature. And that's not even a bad thing, because, you know, at the end of the day, if we run massive computer systems, sometimes we need these systems because we want our airports to operate, right? We want the military to function. We want all these things. We want infrastructure to be all right. So all that power will never be sustainable. That is a fact, and we need to be okay with that. So if people would just accept that and be like, let's work on the things we can improve and leave alone the things we cannot improve, and you just focus on what's doable, that'd be really good.
That's so awesome that you said that, Max. I'm so glad that you did.
Coming in with a biology background, I'm always seeing our ecosystem as a whole. And I think people need to understand that our ecosystem is a whole. What we do over here will affect something else over there, and it will affect how things will happen later. I think it's always about learning to find balance. You know, if we're going to do this and we know that it isn't sustainable and we will use up that resource, then what can we do on the other side to offset that, or to repair, or replace, if that makes sense.
What I wish would be that, yes, that word isn't just thrown or, placed upon everything, that they think because you can throw it away in a certain bid. I would like, because in most municipalities, it's really dependent upon that, regardless of where you throw it away, like what's going to happen to it. And that it will take a long time for people to build that infrastructure if they want to take it from once it's made and where it ends up. And like Carmen said, our ecosystems are very much connected, and we don't even realize the impact of what we're doing right now, how that's really not helping. So if we have a solution that could be used today, like a temporal impact today, then why not? Because, we can give you all of the data on CO2 and where it's going to go and how we make sure that it's going to be disposed of or repurposed. We can give you that information, but at the same time, wherever we happen to be, and I'm talking just in the US, wherever we end up to be and to be using or utilizing these things, we would have to understand where does it go? And I just don't think that we do a good job of that right now. We could do much better. So I think it's just experimenting and actually showing people what is available to them today so that it would help tomorrow.